kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
After a wild finish at Daytona that saw Kevin Gibney Jr. just barely able to hang on over Mark Parkhurst, we head north to Brooklyn, Michigan, home of Michigan International Speedway, and home tonight of the Monsters of Speed Racing League NewGen Cup Series. I am Mike Damoni, and I'll be up in the booth again tonight. Tonight we will have 100 laps around this 2-mile D-shaped oval, as it looks like they're about ready to start qualifying. So tonight's race is going to be a little bit different than we saw last week at Daytona, but we will still see tons of good racing. You did see lots of multiple grooves, as Chris Wheeler is on the track at the moment. But with multiple grooves, you also have a tendency of having a couple parts on the track kind of jump out at you, especially here at Michigan, where you go from the 18-degree banking in 1 and 2 to the almost flat backstretch of only 5 degrees. So look for some action up there as well. Like these guys are just getting ready to start their first qualifying lap. Take a look here at the race info tonight. Round number 2 at Michigan. Track length's 2 miles. Track temperature is 120 degrees, so look for those tires to probably wear off relatively quickly and see some slipping and sliding. Air temperature is 78 degrees. Humidity 25. Like Greg Wood just completed his first lap, a 39.41, good enough for pole right at the moment. Austin Missler, 39.51. Tyler Robinson, 39.53. We'll see if Austin Missler can go any better, and he does, a 39.31. Greg Wood Jr. just completed his lap, but it was not quite as fast. But Blake Howell on his second lap got a 39.22 and is up on the pole. Jonathan Cogswell jumps up as well to P4 with a 39.42. Tyler Robinson, 39.52. James McCaney, 39.6, and see if he gets better this time. He does not. Then we have Zach Woods. Jump up here to P7 with a 39.51. Bill Sleep, a 39.46. Back through the field a little bit. Oh, Mark Parkhurst drew down his first lap there at 39.48 for that number 4 Ford. Parkhurst was a bridesmaid last week, coming up just a little bit short after the late race action. Matt Langley completed his first lap at a 39.58. Let's see if he can go any better on this one. Oh, and it looks like Santos got his second lap, a 39.50. Jordan Dazzadelli had a little trouble his first lap. Gonna see if he can qualify better this time. At 98. Coming to the finish line here. A little bit better, but still just outside. We got Wes Fuller and Kevin Gibney Jr., the only other cars on the track at the moment. Fuller on his first lap. 39.61 up to P16. Kevin Gibney Jr., 39.84. Wes Fuller coming to the start-finish line here. Jumps up to P5, 39.42. Kevin Gibney Jr. jumps up a little bit to P17, a 39.60. Got Dylan McDonald just starting his qualifying lap. .39.54 that time by. We got Andrew Hurley and Ricky Gonzalez. Ricky Gonzalez just completing his first lap. And P3 right now with a 39.31. Dylan McDonald about done with his lap. 5.3, just a little bit faster. But as we watch these guys, you'll notice, and you'll see it probably quite a bit through the race, you'll see these guys jump down almost to the apron. And as I was saying, in the pre-race there, coming off that corner there from the exit of turn 2, it just kind of jumps out and gets you. Oh, it looks like everybody. Oh, Andrew Hurley on track, going to complete his second lap here. Not faster than his previous. I guess as we wait for these guys to finish up their qualifying here, go ahead and take a look at the points. So Kevin Gibney Jr. in the lead with 55 points, thanks to the 5 bonus points for the win. Nolan Pontebrand in second with 51. Greg Wood, 49. Mark Parkhurst, 48. Ricky Gonzalez, 43. McDonald, Missler, and Santiago, all with 42. Kohlhaas with 40. Rounding out the top 10 is Josh Pontebrand. And then Bill Sleep with 33. Zach Woods, 32. Greg Joel, 31. Al with 29, Mazapa 29. So we will see how those points transfer over here. Guys, get ready to start. Here on grid cam, go to the grid. So we got Blake Howell on the front row qualifying pole with the 39.220. Austin Missler to his outside. Ricky Gonzalez and Andrew Hurley in row 2. Greg Wood and Angel Santiago in row 3. In row 3. Row 4, Wes Fuller and Jonathan Cogswell. Row 5, last week's winner, Kevin Gibney Jr. and Bill Sleep. Row 6, Mark Parkhurst and Chris Wheeler. And you got James Santoyo and Zach Woods in row 7. Row 8, Tyler Robinson and Harold Barnes. Row 9, Dylan McDonald, Ryan Douglas. Row 10, Matt Langley and James McCaney. Nolan Pontbrand and George Jewell, 21 and 22. Position 23 is Dave Monspa and Josh Pontbrand in 24th. 25th and 26th is Dylan Schrader and Paul Phillips. Then we've got Jordan Dozadelli in 27th. That looks like the field. Team points are pretty close as well. We got Pulse Graphics with 108, Titletown Racing with 98, Triple Threat Racing with 85, Team Sendit with 80, SMMR 80. Free agents are holding their own at 59. Deep Racing with 45, Ascension Esports 37, and Tidal City Racing with 33. As these guys get gridded up here. Pace lights are off, so we will go green this next time by. Blake Howell will be on the button as they come down the backstretch here. Blake Howell, pole position in Red Duck Comics, 26 Ford. Austin Missler, the 10 Chevy, to his outside. Pace car is in, and we are about to go green. Blake Howell has the button, and he is down and away. You see several guys get stacked up towards the back. Blake Howell drifts up a little bit, tries to get that better line into the corner. Austin Missler stays high a little bit. Santiago almost into the wall there. Ricky Gonzalez makes his way through the field there. And you can see him fan out. You get back to Hurley, Santiago, Cogswell. Trying to figure out what line works best as Santiago jumps down behind Greg Wood. Austin Missler trying to make a pass on the lead, running that low line. Not quite enough speed as Blake Howell is able to keep it. Like we got Mama Fuller in the chat saying good luck to Wes and all the DTR guys. As I was saying earlier, you see these guys kind of spread out, run all sorts of different lines, trying to find one that works for them. As you see Howell go to the high line, and then he's going to kind of drop down to about 1.5 car lengths off the white line there, and he almost comes into the wall there. Ricky Gonzalez is going to try and make the pass on Austin Missler. Fastest lap of the race was just turned in by Jonathan Cogswell, back here in 5th position, up 3 positions from where he started. Ricky Gonzalez is making that bottom line work. Gonna be just a nose behind Missler there. But he is still staying out there, but you see Blake Howell using the high line, using the low line, trying to keep both those cars behind him. Oh, it looks like Bud Barnes back here just turned in the fastest lap of the race as well with a 39.29, trying to make his way up through the field. Zach Woods in front of him with the Christian iRacers. See kind of a group of 4 cars there with 5 of Wes Fuller, the 38 of Chris Wheeler, and the 35 of Dylan McDonald. Last week Dylan McDonald was up front for quite a bit of the race. Didn't quite have enough to make it to the end there as we're almost 3 wide with Wes Fuller in the middle. Fuller gets down to that inside. We got Fuller, Woods, and Wheeler all battling out right there. The 31 of Kevin Gibney Jr. is going to get stuck in the middle if he stays where he's at. 62 of Bill Sleep is burning that middle line. Gibney Jr. jumps down to the inside. Let's see if he can clear Sleep coming out of this corner. Dylan McDonald into the wall. The 9 of James Santos Santoyo. Looks like he just got sucked right into that wall. Go back and take a look here. We'll get on with McDonald here. Here you go. Game just working that high line, staying up almost into the wall. Staying up there, and then that corner just gets pushed right into that wall. Right up there as close as he can, and coming out of that corner just jumps out to get you. Like we had a few takers on pit road. We got Ryan Douglas, James McCaney, David Mazepah getting his fixed and out. James Santos is still there, Bud Barnes is still there as well. First caution of the night. Like, everybody's back on the field, so pace car lights will probably go out this time by, and we'll go green the next lap. Currently the biggest mover, it looks like, back here in 15th of Nolan Palmbrand. Up 6 positions from where he started. There's several that are up 5 or so after the wreck moved a few people out. The lights are out on the pace car. Like they're out. What lane they're gonna be traveling in. Like how elected the top side. Behind him is Greg Wood Jr. and then you have Austin Missler on the inside and Andrew Hurley. Like the 4 of Mark Parkhurst and the 90 of Santiago are all together. Corner 3. This car will dive in now. Blake Howell has the button on the outside. He has reached the Geico restart zone, and he is away. Looks like he might have spun the tires a little bit there. Not quite, as they're wrecking behind him. We stay green. He is out to a huge lead. Like 0.3 of a second at the moment. As they're all spread out behind him. Al, Missler, Wood. Then you have Ricky Gonzalez. And the 13 of Andrew Hurley. Making his way up there too. So 2 by 2 by 2. Austin Missler drops down to the inside, going to see if he can get a run on Hal. Hal's been able to hold him off. But it looks like he's going to just fall back in line. We got Ricky Gonzalez jump back in line after he was running down towards the bottom. Santiago just to his inside. And try and make that pass. Oh. And he saves it. Santiago just got a little bit too close to that back bumper, and Gonzalez was able to save it. Greg Wood Jr. makes the pass. His second place after passing Austin Missler. Andrew Hurley is still down on that inside, trying to make that inside line work. Wood's running about half a path up. Gonzalez is still down there on that inside. Austin Missler jumps down in front of him. Going to see if he can get a little push to get past Missler and Hurley there, but Missler jumps down. As you can see, these guys are running, it's like 4 or 5 different lines to the corner there. Santiago jumps up behind, looks like Parkhurst there. Greg Wood Jr. down to the inside, almost down to the yellow, going to see if he can get that run and clear Hal before they get to the turn 3. But Hal is able to carry that momentum off that high side. And Wood just has nobody behind him. Hurley goes clear almost to the wall. Barely, almost not even, like barely touching it. Stick his hand out the window and touch it. Hurley down to the inside. Gonna see if he can pass Gonzalez down there. Greg Wood's looking for a little help, but still hasn't got any. He's trying to stay as close as he can to that outside line to do a little bit of that side draft. And it looks like he just might have enough to clear, and he does. Greg Wood Jr., new leader this lap. They spread out 3 wide. You got Ricky Gonzalez in the middle. Hurley on the inside. Howell on the outside. Behind them you have Gibney Jr. and Parkhurst. Santiago and Wheeler are side by side there as well. Go back single file, and it looks like Gonzalez is going to try and get close to that bumper of Wood to see if he can get a run and clear him on the corner, just like Greg Wood Jr. was able to do on Blake Howell. Once Blake Howell got past, it looks like he kind of slowed her down a little bit because he is dropping through the field. We got Ricky Gonzalez taking the lead. Greg Wood Jr. behind him. Mark Parkhurst, Angel Santiago, and then Blake Howell. Ricky Gonzalez has that 8 Chevy looking good up front. Greg Wood Jr. back to his inside and see if he can pass him going through 1 and 2, and it looks like he has the run, and he's going to move up in front of Gonzalez there. Parker's closing in right on his back bumper. He is. Greg Wood's able to pull away just a little bit. As Santiago drops down to the inside. He's going to see if he can make that bottom line work a little better for him. But it's almost like we saw last week with the teammates working together, trying to make the most of what they have. As we're 20 laps into this race, like we got Morgan Rickard in the chat, rooting for Ricky Gonzalez. So as we're looking up here, it looks like we're going to start to see some lap cars. Looks like, yeah, pretty close. While we're doing this, let's take a quick look at some of these cars here. Like Josh Pontegran. Gonna try and stay out of the way there, but oh, into the wall goes Santiago. Round he goes. Let's go back and take a look here. Go this way. It's on. There you see it right there. Side by side, bump, bump. Save it. Like, maybe tires went down, just sucked him right into that. Right into the wall, right into. It looks like he can't. He's not going to be going anywhere. Like we got a the lucky dog going through. Greg Wood Jr. still up front. The Pulse Graphics. Anything you need, hit them up. We go back. We got Ricky Gonzalez in the LGC-Y Power Solar Installation Services. Mark Parkhurst, Berkeley Jensen. Mentioned eSports with Andrew Hurley. Kevin Gibney Jr., Blackwater Suds. Chris Wheeler, Racing for a Cure. Mountain Dew for Austin Missler. Roasted Jim's Coffee, Jonathan Cogswell. 60 of Zach Woods, Christian iRacers for his glory. Bill Sleep Racing, 62. NOS Energy, 07 of Greg Jewell. Dylan McDonald. Got Ascension Esports, Tyler Robinson. Nolan Palmsbury. And the Champion Wraps. Josh in Champion Wraps as well. Dylan Trader, Wes Fuller, we're getting lined up, ready to go again, so we'll go back up front. Craigwood Jr. is elected to take the outside. Come down the backstretch, pace lights are out. We got Wood Jr., Gonzalez, Parkhurst, Gibney Jr., Hurley, Wheeler, Missler, Cogswell, Zach Woods, and Bill Sleep all in the top 10 there. We are racing to the stage break at lap 30. Greg's away. Looks like Gonzalez kind of spun his tires, jumped a little bit to that outside, but oh, and it looks like the 38 of Wheeler is making a move right now. He's able to make that bottom line work. Up 5 positions, up 7 total. Gonzalez down to the inside on Parkhurst and try and make that line stick. We got Tammy Brinker in the chat rooting for the 75 of Paul Phillips. Gonzalez and Parkhurst are still side by side. As behind them, looks like Bill Sleep got a little bit out of shape and got into Austin Missler, able to save it, and we stay green. 27 of Jonathan Cogswell was just in front of that, it looked like. Back up front here. Woods out to quarter second of the lead as Gonzalez and Parkhurst are battling side by side. The 13 of Andrew Hurley thought about sending it down inside of Gonzalez, but thought better of it and backed off. Wheeler gets just to the outside of Hurley there. Almost touched bumpers as Wheeler drops down. Gonna try and drive almost clear down to that yellow line. Down below the yellow line even. Get his tires on the apron as they come out of turn 2 there. You see Gibney Jr. run into that wall. Kind of comes out. And Hurley is right on his back bumper. Parkhurst and Gonzalez still side by side battling for that second place. And it's almost time for stage break here. It looks like Wood Jr. is probably going to be able to maintain his lead there. Gonzalez and Parkhurst are battling for second and third. Gibney Jr. Then you have 3 or 4 of them back here with Wheeler, Cogswell, Buell, Woods. One last time through the backstretch before the stage break. And Parkhurst is looking to get it. Parkhurst down to the inside. Gonna test Wood Jr. all the way to the line. Ricky Gonzalez in there as well. Who's it gonna be? Greg Wood Jr. wins the stage. Greg Wood Jr., Mark Parkhurst, Ricky Gonzalez, Gibney Jr., Hurley, Wheeler, Cogswell, Zach Woods, Dylan McDonald, and Bill Sleep round out the top 10, and will be receiving those bonus points for top 10 in the stage. Let's see here. See if we get Greg here. Hey Greg, Mike up in the booth, got a copy?
Sure do, sir.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good. I was shocked. I did not expect to lead any laps this race because this is not one of my better tracks, but it seems like everything's working out so far.
Yeah, it definitely looks like you found something that works. This is way different than Daytona, and you guys seem to be using all of the track here.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm happy with the way the car is going. I changed a couple setup things, and then it seems to be working pretty good.
Awesome. Same strategy pretty much for the next stage?
Not same strategy. I'm probably going to lay back on this one and let everybody burn their stuff up and see if I can pick them off.
Awesome. Well, I'll let you get back to your team chat here and maybe talk to you later.
All right, thanks. Bye.
That was Greg Woods Jr. or Greg Wood Jr. Winner of stage 1. As he said, you know, it is a way different track. Looks like might have a little bit different strategy here. We saw these guys kind of work strategy back and forth for a lot of them anyway. So with only 4 tire sets, and we're looking at probably 2 more pit stops, depending on how that works. This next stage is 30, and then it's 60 to the end. So you only have 4 sets, so might be wishing you had a set later. So I'm saying he's going to hang back and make it work. Try and pick off people later might be the best strategy. So looks like there's only a couple that aren't on the lead lap. It's like Santiago there is stayed out after pitting earlier for that damage he had. Like he will lead us to green when we go back here in a minute. Driving down that back stretch. See everybody. So we got Santiago and Parkhurst on the front row. Wood Jr. and Gonzalez, row 2. Row 3, Wheeler and Howell. And Cogswell and Woods in row 4. Hurley and Sleep in row 5. Looks like pretty much everybody has pitted. Santiago leads them to green as they hit that Geico restart zone. He is down and away. Like he got a pretty good run there, looks like. Wood Jr. is gonna be able to stay behind him. You get Parkhurst, Wheeler, and Gonzalez all kind of fan out back there. Oh! Wood Jr. just barely got into the bumper of Santiago, and Santiago's not able to hold the brakes and just slides right through that grass. Nothing you could do when that happens. Let's go back here and take a look. Right on the nose. He gets it spun. He just goes around. Look from Wood Jr. here. Jump out and we'll go to there's just nothing those guys could do. They all got stacked up there. So as we're under caution again, I am gonna take a quick break here. Won't miss anything. We'll go side by side. And if you're in Facebook, YouTube, like, share, subscribe, follow. Let me know who you're rooting for. Let me know what you want to see, and I'll be back in just a little bit.
Drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Well, oh, the rocket! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-groove. I think this is the first multi-groove surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the left coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
All right, pace lights are out. Parkhurst has the button. Pace car should be making that hard left-hand turn. And he is down and away. Wheeler right behind him, going to stay right with him. Gonzalez down on that inside. Doesn't look like anybody's going to stay low with him for a little while. So we got Parkhurst, Wheeler, Gonzalez, Hurley, Howell, and Cogswell. What do we see back there? Is that Wes Fuller is making some moves going high and low. Like he might have found some speed. Like the lap car's gonna stay low. Bill McDonald's making his way to the inside of Missler and Woods. Woods is looking for somewhere to go. Just can't quite get the speed to get there. Dylan McDonald, and then we got Bill Sleep. His group right in front here with Missler, McDonald, Woods, Fuller. They're just battling it out.
Well, Mike, figured I'd jump in here, join you for a little bit. You actually got a couple of teammates actually sitting right there between Wes Fuller, Dylan McDonald, and then you got the 26 and 60, Howell and Zach Woods, their teammates, and then you got Austin Missler up there. I believe he's teammates with Cogswell. So you got 3 different teams right there represented in those 6 cars.
Well, awesome to have you in here, Angel. Sorry that's not the way you wanted to get back in the booth, but
No,
anyway.
not at all. We'll knock off some rust, though. I got to get back into broadcasting here next week with Cliff, so he might encourage me getting here for a little bit and knock some rust. It's been about 2 months since I broadcasted. It's been a while.
That's good. I mean,
man, good
yeah, so
race so far, man.
Yeah, I mean, like I was telling everybody, pretty much multi-groove. You see these guys 4 or 5 wide sometimes, different grooves, and the only thing you have to watch out for is coming out of the corner, especially on the coming out of 2 there, because it goes from that 18-degree baking to 5, so it's almost flat.
Yeah, no, the groove really does make a big difference here, man. And if you can get to where you want to be, it makes a pretty big difference. So, um, we're in the race itself, I mean, the cars get extremely tight. I mean, they push like a dump truck even after 6 or 7 laps. So saving tires is going to be key for a lot of drivers here. And which sucks because that really is probably one of my best features right there. So losing it kind of sucks, but you know what? It's all right.
Yeah, it looks like it was a little too close there when you got fun there, but you almost were able to save it. Just couldn't stop in that grass, which happens. But
yeah,
it's all right.
It was like ice down there.
Yeah.
But no, that was just a miscommunication. I mean, Greg's my teammate. Greg's not going to be wrecking anybody on purpose, especially not a teammate. I was on old tires. I told him to go low, and I was trying to back off because I had my other teammate Parkhurst on my outside, and I was trying to back off and give him the room, and there was just a little bit of a miscommunication is all it was. Unfortunate because I had already used my fast repair after weird contact with the 26 when he came down into me. I didn't think it was all that significant, but it hooked our tires together and just tore up my right front there. So it was just 2 unfortunate events.
Yeah.
But 3 wide for the lead here almost, man. You got 2 teammates there in Mark Parkhurst and Chris Wheeler. That they were battling it out, and then you have Andrew Hurley, man, the always aggressive but fast Andrew Hurley, back up here to the top 2 with Ricky Gonzalez back to his inside. You got a big group of guys over here in the front. A lot of talent amongst these top 8 or 9 cars.
Yeah, we've seen it all race. I mean, they've been going back and forth. Different car leading every time. Like even Ricky Gonzalez was up there leading for a little bit. Hurley tried to. Wood Jr. was up there for a bit. But talking to him after winning that stage, he said he was going to go back and try and save some tires and try and run guys down at the end. I know that we only got 4 sets of tires here, so definitely going to be crucial, especially with the track temperature.
Well, and what I really like is just for me as the league owner, of my top 10 drivers right now, I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them are new to the league this year. So they've really added some great competition to this league. That's really making everybody, and it makes tonight suck even more because points are really going to matter that much more. But it's nice though to see that, just to see how many different guys we have up here. I mean, you have our champion from last year in the 4th place right here as you're focusing in on him in Jonathan Cogswell. So last year's champion, the man of absolute consistency. Oh, and we got a caution here.
Yeah, let's see what happened here. Bud Barnes. Let's go back and take a look here. See.
Oh, I'm going to tell you right now, it looks like he probably got pretty tight.
Yep,
Oh,
right
that car
on,
just
right.
went it shot to the right.
Yep. And then right back down into that inside wall. Yeah, I was talking about that in pre-race, get the little slick, and that's the one spot that it just jumps out at you, But
yeah, especially in these cars, it's crazy how how tight these cars can get in an instant. And Greg will kill me if anybody is listening to the broadcast, but there's such a great way to get through 1 and 2. I mean, I had some great tires there at the end of that first stage. I was really starting to pick them off and making up some good time before that incident. And I had a pretty good top 5 car, but I was able to save the tires, which makes such a big difference when you're at a track and it's almost hard to believe Michigan isn't. I mean, you do save tires in Michigan, but with these next gens, saving tires has become more of a new thing. For a long time, you didn't really care about tires. So I think that's another thing for a lot of these drivers, is having to just continually reprogram your mind to be able to remember that, you know, these cars are constantly changing with the new data iRacing's putting into it. So everything you think you know, sometimes you have to throw right out the window and try it again.
Yeah, we kind of saw that last week after that update. They made them where they kind of suck together a little bit, so you kind of didn't want to side draft, but you kind of had to, especially at Daytona. So
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, you know, it is what it is. I mean, it's put on for some great racing. It's a ton of fun to drive. I probably prefer the way this thing's drove before the last update, but it's still a ton of fun to drive. A lot of great drivers out there. I do see in chat, Mama Fuller. Nice to have you in chat. I know you're always watching all these races, and I got to converse with her here and there, and through our comment sections through one of our, as a matter of fact, the Ghost Xfinity series that you also broadcast on Wednesday nights.
glad somebody's joined me in the booth because it's been a while. I got several single person booths, but it's been fun. It's actually been lots of fun seeing some of these drivers that for other leagues we broadcast go back and forth through different ones. I mean, we got WSRL on Tuesday nights that I've seen a couple new guys jump in, and then we have, you know, Clean Racing, and I mean, it's just amazing to see the talent we have go everywhere.
Well, I hate to kind of jump away from you out of nowhere, but turns out that time went by a lot faster to get my car done with the required. I want to get back out there and try to get as many points as I can, so I'll hopefully don't have to talk to you again by getting wrecked out again.
All right, I'll talk to you later, Angel.
See you, man.
All right, lights are out on the pace car. Looks like Parkhurst on the outside, Hurley on the inside. Then you got Wheeler and Gonzalez in row 2, Cogswell and Missler, row 3, Woods and McDonald, row 4, and Fuller and Jewell in row 5. So as they come through 3 and 4, let's take a ride on with Mark Parkhurst here. You see him come to the Geico restart zone. He is on it and away. Gets out to almost a quarter of a second lead. See him just barely let off. Get almost to that wall and then stand on it again. See him do almost the same thing here. Let it off, get down towards the line. Back on it again. But behind him, we've got Hurley, Wheeler, and Gonzalez down on that inside. And you see Cogswell jump down there behind Gonzalez. He floats back up. Looks like we're going to be 3 wide with McDonald going to be in the middle there. Zach Woods not able to carry that speed through there quite enough. Look back to Gibney Jr. Almost getting stuck 3 wide, and we're on 3 wide with George Jewell in the middle. Greg Wood Jr. making his way around him. Working on lap 54, going to 60 for the stage break. That in front of Wood. That looks looks like the 5 of Fuller's right in front of Greg Wood Jr. Looks like he floats up in front of the 26 of Blake Howell. George Jewell down to the inside. Like Nolan Altbrand is making his way through that inside line as well, with Howell stuck on the inside, Fuller on the outside. 3 wide, almost touching. Austin Missler making his way down to the inside to try and pass Dylan McDonald. These guys kind of fan out there. Using every bit of the track they can. Andrew Hurley down to the inside on Parkhurst. Not quite going to get there as he just jumps up in behind him. Ricky Gonzalez working that inside line. Chris Wheeler goes clear down to the yellow line. He's been running that line throughout the race. Then he'll float up almost to the middle. You got Austin Missler down here on the almost on the apron. Then you got Zach Woods and Dylan McDonald battling it out. Zach Woods moves clear to the outside. Like he's not going to be able to keep that speed though, as McDonald pulls away. Jonathan Cogswell is making his way up. We heard from Greg Wood Jr. after winning stage 1. He's going to sit back and try and save tires and see if he could pick people off, but it looks like everybody's doing pretty well. There's not been a whole lot of fall off, and everybody keeps running roughly the same lap times. Wood Jr. is running a 41.28, and the leaders are running 41.5, so might be able to catch him a little bit. But I don't think he's going to have enough to get there at the end. Working lap 58. Two more to go. As Ricky Gonzalez looks to the... Andrew Hurley looks to the inside of Ricky Gonzalez. They're side-by-side racing. Hurley almost comes up a little too soon, but is able to duck in just behind Gonzalez. Parkhurst is looking for a place to go. Wheeler as well. Last lap of the stage, see who's gonna make it on points. We got quite the battle back here between McDonald, Woods, Missler, Gibney Jr., and Wood. Wood Jr.'s 3 wide, almost 4 wide with Gibney and Woods there. As they come to the end of the stage, we've got Ricky Gonzalez, Andrew Hurley, Mark Parkhurst, Chris Wheeler, Jonathan Cogswell, Dylan McDonald, Austin Missler, Greg Wood Jr., Zach Woods, and George Jewell. Gonzalez. We'll let him get in his pits, and then we'll talk to Gonzalez here. Everybody's going to pit, and then we will see what happens when they come out of it here. We got probably we'll have about 36 laps. This is only, looks like they're only their second pit stop, so. Andrew Hurley missed his pit stop, or his pit box. Changing all 4 tires. Hey Ricky, Mike in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. Got a copy.
How's it going, man?
And it's going. It's kind of crazy out here. This is the first time I've ever driven Michigan in one of these cars. So, shout out Casey Kerwin. I watch a lot of his videos. So, man, she's fast. Just trying to stay out of trouble. Feel bad for my teammate. He kind of got checked up in something. So, feel really terrible about that. So, gonna try to go get one. Car's fast. So, let's try to get a W tonight.
All right, well, good seeing you, good talking to you. Maybe I'll talk to you at the end of the race.
Yes, sir. Hope so. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yep. That was Ricky Gonzalez there. Wasn't on track. False graphics. Number 90. Come back here. We'll take some look at some of these guys too. James McCaney, the 20. Stonewall. James Santos Santoyo. Engine Ice, Dylan Trader. Like we are lined back up. Base lights are out as they make their way down the backstretch. We got Gonzalez, Parkhurst, row 1. Row 2, Woods and Cogswell. Row 3, Missler and Wood Jr. Row 4, Fuller and Hurley. Row 5, Pumpsbrand and Jewell. Ricky Gonzalez on the button as he gets to the Geico restart zone. He is down and away. Looks like he is able to get a little bit of a lead. They kind of stack up behind him on that high line. He jumps to the outside. They fan out behind him. So we got Cogswell, Woods. Woods on the inside trying to make that work. With Missler behind him. Looks like Parkhurst is almost going to get stuck in the middle, as Wood Jr. is in the middle with Missler to his inside and Cogswell to his outside. He jumps to the high side, gets out of that situation quick. Fan out again coming around the corner. Like West Fuller is also getting stuck almost in the middle. Hurley's on the high side moving up. Three wide with Hurley on the inside, Woods in the middle, or Woods on the Cogswell, Woods. Similar with the 27 and the 60. Blake Howell just put down the fastest lap of the race at 39.15. So you got Parkhurst and Hurley, Cogswell, and then Blake Howell working that bottom line. Almost three wide with Howell getting into the back bumper of Cogswell. He's able to save it. Back and take a look here. Just barely gets his back bumper, but Cogswell's able to save it, and they're staying green. Blake Howell's making that bottom line work up to the lead. Parkhurst is right behind him, but as we saw earlier, when Howell was leading the race at the beginning, he was working all those lines. He's out front going back and forth in front of him, trying to run just his own line. The 13 of Hurley, and behind them, side by side, is Fuller. Zach Woods slowed down a little bit, but he's still down on that bottom line. Ricky Gonzalez to his outside. Austin Mitzler. Trying to make that inside line work inside of Wood Jr. We have 30 to go. Looks like Pontebrand is making his way inside as both of them are side by side. And behind them is George Jewell. As Wes Fuller goes down to the apron. And back here we got Tyler Robinson in the 23 Chevy. Gibney Jr. Brian Douglas in the 24 Chevy. Bill Sleep. David Mazeppa. Chris Wheeler. Dylan McDonald. Matt Langley. Dylan McDonald was running up towards the front. Looks like he had a pit road issue. Jump back up front as Blake Howell leads the race. Mark Parkhurst behind them. Andrew Hurley, Ricky Gonzalez, Jonathan Cogswell makes the pass on Wes Fuller. As Ricky Gonzalez is almost going to get put three wide here in the middle. Ricky's able to pull in front of Fuller. Jumps back down to the bottom. Gonna try and make that pass on Hurley. Side by side, Gonzalez, Hurley. Gonzalez has the nose in front. See if he's able to complete the pass as they come out of 3 and 4. Like he will be just in front of Hurley there as Hurley's battling back on that outside line. Behind them, we have Cogswell, Zach Woods, and Austin Missler. Looks like Wood Jr. saw a little problem, jumped down to the inside. Everybody stays clean and we're staying green. Looks like Nolan. Ricky Gonzalez is battling his way back up again. He must have figured something out watching all that video. Jonathan Cogswell, Andrew Hurley, and Zach Woods are side by side with Austin Missler in the middle. They straighten up and then stand back out as they come to one. So as they come to 25 to go, we will turn it up for a couple laps. As we jump back up front, Ricky Gonzalez is making a pass on Blake Howell. Jonathan Cogswell, after a little bump a couple laps ago, is making his way back towards the front as well. Like Andrew Hurley made his third pit stop. Is back out just in front of the leaders. We see Ricky Gonzalez and Howell almost get together there. Then you have Cogswell and Parkhurst right behind them. Then it kind of settles down with Missler, Woods, Pomperand, Joel Fuller, and Kevin Gibney Jr. Gonzalez to the lead. Cogswell's looking for some place to go, bouncing around inside, outside. Howell jumps down to the inside. Gonzalez to the high side. Blake Howell is pitting this time by. So with 21 laps to go, Blake Howell's hit the pits. So it looks like we will have to pit one time and might not have enough fuel to make it to the end. We'll see if running longer will be the call, or if he's going to be able to save enough fuel and tires to make it clear to the end. Blake Howell is back on the track. See him right there. Just about to go a lap down. It looks like he is able to save it here. So he has stayed on the lead lap after pitting. We got Mitzler, Wood Jr., and Jonathan Cogswell. Wood Jr. is making the pass on Austin Mitzler. Has his sights set now on Ricky Gonzalez. So Austin Mitzler drops down to the inside. He's going to try and pass Greg on the inside. Parkhurst is behind Wood Jr. Behind him is Jonathan Cogswell. We got Zach Woods, Nolan Pompriand, and George Jewell. 18 laps to go. So with 18 laps to go, we'll go ahead and take our last and final break here, and I will be right back. Won't miss a thing.
Drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Well, oh, they're wrecking! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the left coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
And we are back after, while we're away, almost everybody has hit pit lane except for, looks like Gibney Jr. and Chris Wheeler. They last pitted on lap 62-63. Right now, Gibney Jr. is scored as the leader. dealing with some hot traffic, it looks like. You got Gibney Jr. and Wheeler there, and then you got few lap cars. It looks like the 98 of Gordon Dosadelli, maybe. And you got Bill Sleep, Brian Douglas, and it looks like Wheeler just came in, so Kevin Gibney Jr. is the only car out there that has not pitted. And the cars that have are just passing him like he's standing still, so we've got like Hurley and Howell, Parkhurst, Wood, Gonzalez are all gonna be breathing down his neck pretty soon. He's got 19.5-second lead, but he's losing over a second a lap. Blake Howell makes a pass on Hurley. Parkhurst is back there trying to close in as well. We got Howell and Hurley. Gibney Jr. is just on the front stretch, and they're on the back stretch, so got quite the lead if he's able to make it on fuel. He could be looking for the W, but he's losing time every lap. But I don't know that it's enough that they're going to get there. Oh, yep, he is going to pull into the pits right now with the 17.5-second lead. Blake Howell is going to inherit the lead as soon as he is able to pass Gibney here, while Gibney's on the pits. Hurley gets right to the back bumper of Santiago. Howell is just pulling away. He's got almost a half-second lead over Hurley. Hurley has almost a second lead over Parkhurst and Gonzalez. So what's going on there? Looks like Hal kind of slowed down a little bit. Gets into Santiago, able to stay on track and keep the lead. Almost runs into him again. Parkhurst loved seeing that as he is closing in with every lap. And he's into him again. Parkhurst and Santiago, or Howell and Santiago keep going back and forth. Parkhurst has inherited the lead. Ricky Gonzalez is making his way on that outside high line. Jumps down inside of Howell and makes that pass. Jonathan Cogswell passes as well. We have 6 to go. Parkhurst and Gonzalez. Hurley and Cogswell. It looks like Gonzalez is able to make that pass. Almost gets into each other, but they're stay clean. Side by side, Gonzalez and Parkhurst. Back and forth they go. 5 to go. Cogswell's closing in as well. Looks like Gonzalez slowed down and got back in line. We got Parkhurst with 0.2 of a second lead over Cogswell. He is running all over the track, trying not to let Cogswell have any advantage with the draft or otherwise. Gonzalez is right behind them as well. Greg Wood Jr. is on the back bumper of Hurley. Jumps down to the inside. Is going to try and make that pass. We got 3 cars battling for the lead. 4 to go. Side by side, almost touching Cogswell, Parkhurst, and Gonzalez dives down to the inside. 3 wide for the lead with 3 laps to go. Gonzalez to the inside, Parkhurst to the outside, Cogswell sitting just back behind him. And it looks like we have Greg Wood Jr. closing in as well. Gonzalez, Cogswell, Parkhurst. Greg Wood Jr. dives to the inside of Cogswell. Makes a pass on Cogswell. Cogswell falls in line. Ricky Gonzalez has the lead. Parkhurst, 0.2 back. Greg Wood Jr. just barely back behind him. Cogswell all over the back bumper of Greg Wood Jr. 2 to go. So we got Gonzalez, Parkhurst, Wood Jr., and Cogswell all battling for the lead. Behind him, we have Hurley and then Blake Howell. Ricky Gonzalez is pulling away to 0.4 of a second lead. Final lap. Ricky Gonzalez is up to 0.4 of a second. We'll see if Wood Jr., Parkhurst, or Cogswell are able to close in that gap. Driving down the backstretch. Cogswell jumps to the inside of Parkhurst. Gonna try and make a run here. Wood Jr. stays middle. Looks like he's got a little bit of a run, but I don't think it's gonna be enough to get there. As we come to the start-finish line, Ricky Gonzalez wins at Michigan. Greg Wood Jr. second. Mark Parkhurst third. Jonathan Cogswell 4th, Andrew Hurley 5th, Austin Missler, Blake Howell, Nolan Pomperbrand, Zach Woods, George Jewell round out the top 10. See if we can get guys in here. Hey Mark, Mike up in the booth, got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, amazing race, amazing battle there at the end. How did you think the race went, or your race went, and how do you think the track was playing?
I was having a lot of fun. I think the bottom was the more preferred groove if you want to save a little bit of tires. I think the top was roasting them a little bit more. But yeah, I think that one lap later that Ricky pitted was what made the difference in the end.
Awesome. Do you think you could have, I mean, other than hitting earlier, do you think there was anything you could have done to save him?
No, I don't think so. He was bad fast tonight. I was defending for my life there with about 5 to go, and he just got a good enough run on the inside, and it stuck, and it was kind of a done deal from there. I roasted my tires a little bit too much trying to catch the 2 ahead that pitted early, and yeah, I wasn't hanging on to my tires too well tonight, so by the time he got around me, it was a done deal.
Well, 2 podium finishes this year. Awesome way to start the season. Anybody you want to shout out on that car?
Yeah, I gotta shout out Goose Graphics for making the scheme for me. Hit them up on Facebook. John does a great job of making all the schemes. Gotta thank my PGR teammates for helping me out to learn this track a little bit better. Thank my mom for watching, and yeah, I think that's everybody.
All right, well, I'll let you get back to it, and I will hopefully talk to you again next week.
I hope so. Hopefully I'll win next week. I've finished in the other 2 podium spots so far.
Yep. All right. That was our 3rd place finisher, Mark Parkhurst. If we can get Greg back up in the booth here. Hey, Greg, Mike in the booth. You got a copy?
Sure do.
Oh, awesome. Awesome finish again. You know, podium again anyway. You think there was anything you could have done to catch Ricky there?
Yeah, not get in the Angel back lap 35 and get that freaking EOL penalty. He told me to. I was going to push him down the back straight away, but he said, no, split me. So I went down low, and then I came up too close to him and ended up wrecking him. So that put me back in the pack. But I was able to get, I think, P8 or something in stage 2, and then I didn't think I was going to be able to catch the top 4 coming down to the wire, but I did and got to 2nd place, so all in all, good run.
Yeah, awesome awesome finish here. Anybody want to shout out on that car?
I thank the Lovely Life first and foremost for putting me while I do this. Angel and everybody else at here at Monsters of Speed, my team, Pulse Graphics Racing, and if you need any real life wraps or iRacing wraps, hit up Pulse Graphics on Facebook.
All right. Thanks, Greg. I will look forward to maybe talking to you again next week.
All right, thank you.
Well, we are with Ricky Gonzalez, the winner here at Michigan. Talk to you after the 2nd stage win, and here you are back in the winner's circle this time.
Yeah, I was kind of nervous. Came down pit road and didn't know what I wanted to do, but yeah, man, for a first time being on this track and coming home with a win, I'll definitely take it. So it made a lot of improvements to these next gens iRacing has, so I guess it suits my driving style, and came home first tonight, so I'll take it.
Yeah, awesome run. Definitely saw you working your way through, and then it was pretty close battle, 3 and 4 wide there for a little bit. But everybody seemed to think you just had rocket fuel or something there.
Yeah, I took 4 at the last stop. I knew that tires were critical here. And then coming out of 4, Cogswell kind of got tight with the leader. I forget who the leader was. It was the 4 car. I really don't know numbers yet. Parkhurst? Okay, so they got tight, and so I kept my foot in it. I have a spotter with me that's in another league. and I did what he told me. And he said, keep your foot in it. Kept my foot in it, and now we're in victory lane. So good night, good points night. We won stage 2, and coming home with a win. I don't know if it's win and you're locked into the playoffs, but that would be good because I'm going to be missing Road America that week just because we have a family vacation out to Daytona. We're going out to the NASCAR race.
Awesome. Yeah, I do believe it is win and you're in, so.
Well,
It'd
now
be
we're going
good.
to go chase more wins.
Awesome. Anybody want to thank on that car?
Yeah, I just want to thank Legacy Power. That's the solar company I work for here in Dallas, Fort Worth. Titletown Racing with Wes, Dylan, Zach, Blake Howell, and David Mazaspoff. I think I got the whole team in there. Appreciate them doing the paints for us. Man, what a race. What a race. So shout out to everybody watching the stream. Shout out my girl who's watching back in Austin, Texas. She went to go visit some family this weekend, so appreciate them watching the stream. My family watching the stream. We finally did it. Got another win, and it feels good. So I appreciate you doing the broadcast for us as well.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to maybe talking to you next week, I guess. We'll see.
Yes, sir. We'll get them next week.
All right. I'll send you back to your...
Yes, sir.
There. All right. That was our winner, Ricky Gonzalez. Let's take a look here at the results. Ricky Gonzalez in first. Greg Wood, hard-fought battle after that penalty, bringing home P2. Mark Parkhurst finished one spot worse than last week in P3. Jonathan Cogswell, winning champion, coming home in P4. Andrew Hurley, Austin Missler, 5 and 6. Blake Howell and Nolan Pontebrand in 7th and 8th. Zach Woods and George Jewell round out the top 10. Then you go back to Kevin Gibney Jr. in 11th, Wes Fuller in 12th, Bill Sleep in 13th, Ryan Douglas in 14th. 15th and 16th is Tyler Robinson and David Modspa. 17th is Josh Pontebrand, Chris Wheeler in 18th. James Santoyo in 19th, rounding out the top 20 is James McCanney. And we've got 21st, Jordan Dozzadelli. Angel Santiago finished 22nd, was able to get a couple more positions, it looks like. Dylan Trader in 23rd, Dylan McDonald, 24th. Matt Langley, 25th. Paul T. Phillips involved in that early race incident, 26th. Uh, 27th is Bud Barnes and John McIntyre in 28th. So overall, awesome show, awesome racing. Had a little bit of everything. Some pit strategy kind of came involved. Definitely one to look forward to. And after today, it looks like the 19th, we head to Dover. So we will see who can take home the victory. See if we're talking with Greg Wood Jr. or Mark Parkhurst again, or if it's somebody new this time. Once again, thanks everybody for watching. Be sure to like, follow, share, subscribe. We do this almost 7 days a week. Once again, this is Mike Damoni. Have a great night.